Hello folks, I'm Richard Moore, North Mississippi Anti-Gang Stalking Association, on Facebook, YouTube, United States Anti-Gang Stalking Association. I'm going to do just a short video on criminal stalking. We have, as a TI community, polarized ourselves with vernacular that I think in many ways hurts our cause to make the general public aware of criminal stalking. So I prefer to use the terms criminal stalking. That makes that way we take the all the guesswork out of what we're talking about. I want to stress the importance of unity with genuine targeted individuals. I want to be very clear. My organization is ran by this person right here, me. I do not answer to a board of directors. I do not answer to a consortium of other individuals. What you see is what you get. It's impossible to make any organization or group perp proof, if you will. They're going to come in every shape, form, and fashion. But rest assured, I do have people, many people, that forever vigilant with watching and taking note of those that are attempting to subvert what we're doing. While many other organizations dedicate a lot of time and effort explaining tactics, explaining defense mechanisms, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You won't get a lot of that here, but what you will get here is our plan of action to bring criminal stalking to an abrupt halt. And the way you bring it to an abrupt halt is you have to kill the snake by cutting the head off. And that's what we're talking about. And this is the highest level of our government. President Trump calls it the deep state. We call it criminal stalking. And it's a multi-faceted, multi-layered criminal organization. Things like Homeland Security fusion centers. That name fusion center itself should tell the world what's really going on. That's simply a play on words. The three letters that are missing are C-O-N, con. It's a con. When you put the con with fusion, you've got confusion. And they use weapons of mass confusion to defeat everything the targeted individual tries to do to solve their problem. Don't chase your tail. Yes, they have access to technology, but I'm going to tell you, the majority of the things that you're experiencing are smoke and mirrors. It's a shell game. I know this by gauging the up close, the perps that you see on a daily basis. If you're mob stalked in vehicles or in public places and what have you, that should give you an idea. These people struggle with good hygiene habits, the operation of toothbrushes and things like that. So let's not give them credit for dialing in satellites and all that kind of stuff. Now, their handlers and the people on up the chain, of course. Folks, it's the Wizard of Oz, okay? And it's ignore the man behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain, he's the one with all the levers and all of the things, creating this weapon of mass delusion, illusion, and it's evil at its very core. This is the ultimate goal of unification of a one world government, if you will, population control. It is a billion industry, a cash cow, thanks to Homeland Security, FEMA, and the cooperation of the CIA, the FBI, the ATF, the DEA. Thanks to those federal agencies. Are all of them bad? No. They make it possible. They're in on the deal. I find it hard to believe that somehow the cartels south of the border are able to get tons of cocaine and methamphetamines into this country undetected. If it was that easy, then why isn't Al-Qaeda or ISIS bringing C4 explosives in the same way? Are you telling me that the Sinaloa cartel, they're smarter than our neighbors in the Middle East that have an unlimited supply of cash? Now, I'm not buying that baloney. The illegal drug trade, sex and human trafficking, crimes against humanity. This is not an obscure anomaly in our society. This is a planned, systematic program. All you have to do, go to Homeland Security, their website, and look what they tout, what their capabilities are, their data collection. And they're not a federal agency, by the way. This is state employee owned, state operated quagmire. And they employ the private contractors in the holistic nightmare of community policing, everybody doing their part. It's systematic torture we know as a targeted individual. Regardless of what elements that they are implying that are legal and that they can do that's lawful, is not the subject. No matter how lawful they claim their actions are, when your lawful actions and you're conspiring with other people with your lawful actions to do things that violate one's civil and constitutional rights, it's no longer a lawful action. That's called a crime. That's called a felony. That's called prison, and that's called accountability. As I travel, I've witnessed, as many and most TIs targeted individuals have, families with their children in tow. They're teaching this to their children. They desensitize their children, so when these children become an age of accountability and they get old enough, maybe they won't find human torture odd or repulsive. I had a friend I went to school with. His father was a mortician. They ran a funeral home. And I asked him, as we were young, how was he going to follow in his dad's footsteps? And he says, since he was old enough to remember, his father had been bringing him into the mortuary, and he would see him prepare bodies and drain the fluids, embalm, and he was around that. And he became accustomed to being around a corpse and bodies and all that. It didn't bother him. It was no more than a mechanic doing an oil change. I said that there's no way Jack Daniels didn't make strong enough whiskey to get me past any of that. But I liken that into what they're doing with stalking, because what these children are witnessing are a human being being tortured, made miserable, deprived of their civil and constitutional rights, ran off the highway, refused employment, forced into homelessness, their dignity and everything stripped. What we're talking about is evil. And so if you're one of those people that have been affected by this, or if you're hearing this message and this is new to you, all you have to do is visit my page and you'll get all the information you need. Everything I'm telling you can be substantiated and proven. I'm collecting evidence, not just my personal evidence, of people, places, and times, photographic and written documentation. Soon, we will start what would be a first of many steps in federal court, incrementally challenging the elements of criminal stalking. The bricks and mortar element, if you will. There's some things that are almost impossible to prove. They want us to chase our tails and spend the rest of our lives speaking about dues, V2K, holograms, spooks, flying monkeys, you name it. That's important to realize that all of that's working. But folks, let me tell you, none of it cuts the head off the snake. Once the snake is decapitated, my friend, all these other things will fall by the wayside. Any weapon, whether it be a nuclear weapon or be weapons controlled by satellite or the simple unauthorized, illegal mass collection of data that the fusion centers do on every person in the United States of America, down to what size underwear they're wearing. Literally. The FBI uses this information. They get it. No one questions how the information was obtained. It's these things in the Privacy Act, the Civil Rights Bill, and the Constitution, my friend, are still in play. They're not null and void. Attorney General Barr and President Donald Trump are battling the very thing that I'm talking about, and that's criminal stalking. So I implore each individual that you set aside some time in your schedule to reach out to others in an educational sense and inform people about what is going on. As long as we stay in these little tight-knit groups and we're doing conference calls and we're having little meetings and we're talking about all of these things in this little private, a lot of you are in private groups because you don't want the perps in there. If you're real, if you're genuine, my question is, what are you doing hiding? Why would you hide? It's time that real people, the real TIs, get a backbone instead of a wishbone and step forward. You can join with me and fight with me. You're looking at one individual that's real as it gets. Love me or hate me, you can believe one thing. I won't stop. I won't shut up. I won't back up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let up until we have taken this to the highest court in the land, until we get our day in court, our due process, all the things that's been denied us. We're going to get it, and it's coming. The time is right. The season is right now. Right now is the time to change what you're doing. This is not about me. You can either choose to continue to be a victim, or you can choose to say enough is enough. You can look the devil right in the eye and say enough is enough. I'm coming to take back my stuff. And let me tell you what, folks, it's that unity, it's that togetherness and that tenacity and that faith in God that's going to bring this to a screeching halt. We're going to do it. We need to work together as a team. Step away from the phony, bogus, false narrative. Let's go after the people that are behind the curtain, the ones that want to distract us and look at everything else but what's behind the curtain. And we know who is behind that curtain, and we know exactly where to go and what to start with. I'd like to hear your statement. I'd like to see your evidence. You can contact me, North Mississippi Anti-Gang Stalking Association on Facebook. You can send me a message, send that stuff to me. You can rest assured it will be used and it'll go to the right place. Until next time, God bless you.